Hello and welcome to the OB Builders Cup Series live from virtual Worldwide Technology Raceway. I'm Sheldon Atkins, joined in the booth with newfound friend Steve Tucker, and down in the truck tonight pushing all the buttons is going to be Austin Derbyshire. And man, I'm just excited to sit here and cover another great race here for the OB Builders Cup Series. It's been a long season, well into what would be playoff territory if they follow the modern format. But definitely not the case here as we're going for the 2003 Winston Cup. So we get a nice overhead view of the track. And Steve, tell me, what do you know about this place?
Man, this place is just a lot of fun. It's one of my personal favorite tracks. It's 1.33 miles. It's basically like a mini Darlington kind of, but flatter. And it has a lot of similarities to, a New Hampshire, long straightaways, Martinsville-esque cornering in a sense of tight corners. This place is a lot of fun.
A lot of fun, and as we get a look here at the championship standings, Sean Conklin still with a commanding lead over Justin Levine in second place. Sean pretty much walking away with it here in the closing stages of the season. Third place, Brandon Pasalacqua with a massively consistent season, followed by Patrick Gitter, Joseph Causey, Chris Vinson, Derek Heitman, Lou Christian, Greg Carr, and Roger Pierce are the top 10 as it sits. We're going to hand it on over to Steve Tucker here with the keys to the race and how to get around this track.
Yeah, this place right here, definitely interesting. Again, 1.33 miles, very, very difficult. One of the biggest things about this place is just, tires. Tires are going to be huge here. It's one of those places that really, they wear out quick, especially right now in the daytime. Going to be a lot of hard time getting through track position, right? Cars, traffic, all kinds of things like that, which leads me to my next point. Track position in general is massive. This is a place that you have to be up front. You have to make sure that you can, make sure that you're always in the front of the field. You can't give up track position here. It's so hard to get it back. And then thirdly, again, back to that point of this track is so difficult. You really have to treat it like a road course. Different shifting points on the back stretch, on the front stretch, different corner styles, right? You really have to approach it as a road course. With that mentality, you can find a lot of success here in Gateway.
Yeah, it's definitely a track where you got to be on your A game, lap in and lap out. But I'm going to bring it over here to our broadcast picks here for the evening. And man, when it comes to a track, you got to be consistent, and it's all about go easy and go slow to be fast. I'm about to go with the 6 machine of Brandon Pasalacqua. Seems to be a master of that strategy here this season. How about you, Tucker?
It's a great pick. I think I'm going to go Roger Pierce today. Very, very good driver. Very, very fast. Obviously, a lot of years on the sim. I know he's good at tracks like this. He's my man today.
And Austin's going to go with Dylan Banks in the 48 Graham Crackers machine. And Roger Pierce, great pick, man. Last night's NIS Open winner, going for the Grid Vision sweep here. First person outside of Conklin to get it done if he can make it work. Either way, we're going to go over here to our starting grid. And starting on the pole, it's going to be Sean Conklin with Adam Benefield his outside in second. Rolling off in third, it's going to be Roger Pierce with Dylan Banks in fourth. Fifth place is going to be Brandon Pasalacqua with Matt DiCiani to the outside in sixth place. Starting off seventh, it's going to be Lou Christian with Austin Edstrom, the Rocket Man, in eighth. Ninth place is going to be Brian Johnson, and rounding out the top 10 here on the grid is going to be Joseph Galata, and on to you, Steve.
And right now, Paul Hill right here going to be on the outside lane. Russell Black on the inside right there. A lot of things going on here. Josh Schaffner, man, Randy Mullins right here on the inside lane, looking pretty good sharp right there in that machine. Shane Clore looking like in that 72. Bryce Reiner in the 41 on the inside lane. Who else? Reese Schaefer, Daniel Wiles, Louisburg, North Carolina. Man, looking awesome today. Who else? Chris Hudson rounding up the field. Tim Wortman today in that 28 machine, looking good, as well as Jose Medina, Chris Vinson in that 33 out of Wisconsin.
Yeah, starting 23rd, here's going to be Justin Levine with Chris Davis to the outside in 24th. 25th, it's going to be the 17 machine of Paul Gallimore with Chad Kibbe to his outside in 26th. And then rounding out the 27 car field here tonight from Gateway is going to be John Bender in the 23 machine. I'll say one thing. Starting at the back might be the right strategy. We saw a lot of chaos yesterday in NIS Open. We talk about that week in, week out, though. I don't know if I doubt it's going to bleed over too much here into the OB Builders Cup Series. These guys have put together such a tremendous season so far, and it's been a blast to be on here since they first gave us the go-ahead in early May. And it's going to be a lot of fun to see what these guys are able to make work here. as the pace car rolls off the grid here. 27 hungry drivers in line. Past Lacqua, a little bit of an issue already down to the bottom here on the front straightaway up against the wall. Looks like he has actually received an EOL penalty. See the field starting to work their way into 3 and 4 here. Lights out on the pace car. Green flag getting ready to be displayed here in a couple seconds. Sean Conklin, Adam Benefiel, two very strong drivers in control of a second lane that's also just as strong, but under the shadow of the Gateway arch. The flag is in the air. They're working into the restart zone here, and the green flag is out. We are underway here at Gateway. A great launch for Adam Benefiel. Gets through the gears a little bit better than Sean Conklin. Conklin going to muzzle it down to the inside, though. A little bit of a door tap to the 83 machine. But coming off turn 2, and a big slide for Benefiel. Loses a bunch of momentum. He's going to lose a handful of spots here as he gets stuck in the middle 3 as Luke Christian sends it down the inside into turn 3, and Banks goes around him on the outside.
Pretty wild stuff right now. All the way already into turn 3 and 4. Back half of the field, pretty much single file for the most part right now. Everyone trying to get single file.
Down to the bottom. Here comes Roger Pierce, though, trying to make a move early here. Knows how important this clean air is this week. Gets down to the inside to the left side quarter panel. Sean Conklin through 1 and 2. Door to door, out of 2. Down the back straightaway, though, the outside lane going to pull that 10 Victory 1 machine to the point. But Roger Pierce isn't giving up that quick. He's going to keep it down to the bottom here.
So far, keeping it clean right now. Back half of the field again, just single file. A couple of guys right now. Sean Conklin under some fire right now in the front of the field.
And Pierce looks down to the bottom again, grabs the rear bumper cover of the 10 machine. They make contact down to turn 1. Pierce trying to muscle him out of the way. Conklin swings wide through 1 and 2. Here comes Roger Pierce. But Conklin still using the top line to his advantage.
You got to be careful there, too, because turn 1 and 2, you can't use that bottom line up against that line in the apron. It definitely does not have the grip it has about a lane higher. You have to run about a lane and a half higher in turns 1 and 2 to have the grip to turn.
Right now, a little bit further back. Austin Edstrom trying to make quick work of Luke Christian using the outside through 3 and 4, and he makes it stick. Edstrom moving himself up to the 4th spot already here. Good little pickup here in the early laps for him, and he's pulling the 98 machine of Joseph Gulata along with him. And new paint, new manufacturer for Joseph Gulata.
Looking good. Can't miss that car. Bright orange.
Absolutely not. It's a frickin' Sam Squanch, boys. Sorry, I mispronounced it. I'm not so good with my Canadians. It's Sam Squanch. Right now, Roger Pierce not letting Sean Conklin breathe easy here in the lead. Pierce definitely hungry. Knows that he can get it done here at Gateway. Did it last night in NIS Open. Trying to see if he can do it again. Gets to the back bumper of his Victory 1 teammate here through 3 and 4. Conklin gets a little bit of a wiggle, though. Looks like Pierce took a little bit of air off the spoiler of the 10 machine, but doesn't open up enough of an opportunity like we saw a couple laps ago. Roger's going to tuck back in. Now he's going to try and send around the outside through 1 and 2.
Yeah, really going to be patient here. Roger obviously seems like he wants to get the lead early, and not a bad spot to be, right? Again, track position matters. That clean air will make a big difference early on, especially once we get into that long run.
Oh, and he dives it down to 3. Slides up the track. No contact between the two of them. Real tight racing through 3 and 4. Roger Pierce trying to make it work on the bottom, but Conklin still using that top lane. It's just so hard when you get to somebody's inside here at Gateway to make anything happen, especially with this car and this package. You don't have the horsepower to really pull you out of the corner like we had back in the day.
Now, I'll tell you what, guys like Dylan Banks are here in 3rd, Joseph Gulata in 4th. They're laughing. I mean, they're seeing these guys, Conklin, Pierce, racing for it right now for P1, but they're going to use up all their tires right now early on. They can't be doing that for a track like this, especially a long race like we have it. So I mean, Banks, Goleta, they're probably saving those tires, just getting around this track. Once P1 and 2 burn that rubber off, it's going to be showtime for P3.
Yeah, absolutely. This has been a really high wear weekend. You know, the short track tire, a lot softer than what we had in years past. You come here now, you know, a year or so ago, you know, maybe sitting looking at the end of a 45 lap run, having like 80% on the tires or something like that. We've had people, you know, reporting 50% tire wear at the end of a run. So you've really got to be careful and try to keep that equipment underneath you as long as you possibly can. As we see Justin Levine make a move right now into 3 to the inside of the 72 machine of Shane Clore. Makes it stick. Another spot there for that Mac Tools Camry. As he's trying to carve his way through the field. Started pretty far back in the field this evening, but up at the front, it's still Sean Conklin and Roger Pierce over Dylan Banks. But down to the inside, here comes Joseph Galata. But not enough of a run to make anything happen. Falls back in line, now trying the outside line through 3 and 4. And that opens the door for Edstrom, but Edstrom's not able to get to the quarter panel in time. And Gulata's going to try and make a big run here out of turn 4 to try and get to the inside into 1.
Turn 1, such a huge braking zone. It's a lot steeper of a braking zone than you think it is. You got to downshift and just get right down into it. You have to kind of downshift too early on. Right when you hit the braking zone, you downshift, kind of shock the car into slowing down. And then, man, it's just it's a wild ride in turns 1 and 2, but it's a great passing zone.
Oh yeah, this whole track, man, it's got a lot of character to it. You know, it's probably not the most fun place to really get some neck-and-neck racing because how impactful the dirty air is with this car. But you are on the wheel every second of every lap, and as soon as you think you can rest, as you see Gulata make the move to the inside, and he's going to make it stick. The Bigfoot Chassis Collective Toyota is going to move forward here up to 3rd spot, now trying to make something happen against Roger Pierce up there in front of him, but he's got a little bit of ways to go.
Little slide job action right there out of turn 2. That's a great move. Has to make it happen right there, and it's hard to make it stick, but he made it work.
What I like that I've seen out of Gulata so far is what I've seen week in and week out. You know, everybody's miring themselves down there on that bottom lane. And Joseph not one to do that. Always kind of goes the contrarian approach when we end up with single lane racing. And it worked for him there. You saw him make the move up top.
I saw Randy Mullins on the wall right there. The 64 machine out of turn 2 got a little bit too high and just a little bit of a kiss on the outside wall, but looks to be okay.
Yeah, not too much damage on the side of the 54 machine. Looking good so far. It's weird seeing Mullins. You know, this is your first week in the booth. You're not, you know, used to this, but it's weird seeing Mullins with colors other than red and black on the machine. The new paint scheme for him.
Looking pretty good right now. A lot of drivers, single file for the most part. Right now, we just saw a couple of, actually right now, back in the field, Chris Vinson make his way around Shane, I'm sorry, Josh, who is that? Brandon right here looks like.
Yeah, Brandon Passalacqua trying to make a move on the inside, and looks like it's going to stick. Gets up in front of the 33 machine here on the front straightaway. Remember, Brandon working back from an EOL, started this thing off at the back of the field, already up to 18th spot. So big moves out of the 6 machine to start this thing off. Well, up at the front, not much changing as we sit right now. Sean not getting too far ahead of his Victory 1 teammate here. Roger Pierce still just about tucked up to the rear bumper, about a car length separating the two most of the way through the lap.
And see, this is what I kind of expected out of guys who are this good, right? I mean, I expected long runs today from Gateway. A lot of the times Gateway can be one of those tracks that you're like, oh man, this is going to be maybe a caution fest or whatever. But obviously with these guys, that's not going to be a problem today. But you can start to see now, I mean, right now, lap 15, we're starting to get kind of into that, okay, is this going to be a long run? And it seems like that's going to be the case. So my point from earlier, right, tires are going to matter so much more, which is why Conklin, Pierce, racing so hard for P1 early on, going to bite him, I think, a little bit. Later on in this race right now, we're already seeing Joseph Galeta catching up to Roger Pierce. Can he make a move here pretty soon?
And Galeta running pretty good lap times right now. Last time across the stripe, he ran a 33.4. These two in front of him, 2/10 off, running 33.6s. As we get a look at the lap times right now on the left side of the screen. Mullins runs some pretty quick laps too, sitting there running 33.5s.
Austin Edstrom now has lost a couple of spots. Just watched him on the front stretch into the wall now just a little bit. Got loose out of turn 4, I believe it was, and lost about 3 spots. So he's on his way backwards, it looks like right now, as he's getting passed by a couple of guys. Paul Hill and Brian Johnson, excuse me.
And Brian Johnson getting by as we look at the 87 Stanley Tools Camry. A lot of damage to the right front fender for Austin Edstrom. If we don't get a caution, that right there, that's going to be heavily detrimental to him for the rest of the day, because that's one of the most critical parts of this car. Once you fold it, man, you're pretty much screwed for the rest of the run. That car is going to be pushing like a dump truck here in traffic.
Yeah, and it's a good point that you bring up, right? Because you wouldn't think a 1.33 mile track or a shorter track like this, right, matters when it comes to aerodynamics, but it really does. I mean, these straightaways are long, so the draft does have some kind of effect to it, but also you really can't have, to your point, a super tight entry or middle corner speed at a track like this, especially turns 1 and 2. It's so tight, and you just have to roll these corners well to make any room.
Yeah, I can already tell with the amount of damage on the right side of that Camry. It's at some point in this run, he's probably going to be shifting that thing down to second in the middle of 1 and 2. Because he's going to be pushing that hard on that right front tire. Just trying to do anything to shift the balance back to the right rear, but it's definitely not good to have, especially with a car that is as aero-sensitive as this next-gen Cup car. I mean, I don't think I've driven anything on the sim that is this easily broken.
I agree. And right now, actually, down into turn 1, having a battle right here for about 19th. Shane Clore, almost 3 wide there for a second, but trying to work his way out side by side here down the backstretch.
Reese trying to make something happen with the 72 Logitech Mustang to his outside, sitting down to the bottom here in 3 and 4, but Shane Clore going to make that top line work for now. And Josh Hoffner just trying to hold these two up as best he can. You look at the back window of the 50 Chevrolet. Down to the bottom of the track is Reese Schaefer. A big run for Reese. Early center there. It's going to get him just about enough of an advantage on the back straightaway. This is the problem you end up with here at Gateway, man. You go to make a move to the inside, and it feels like that car on the top, they just don't go anywhere.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, obviously, it gives great racing, right, side by side for a couple of laps now, but I mean, to your point, you just can't make up any room. And again, this wears the tires down. It gets you, the driver, kind of heated too, because you're like, man, when's this going to end? I want to just get in front, as now we're seeing that. But yeah, it can be grueling for sure.
Look at the 6 machine now. Pascalacqua trying to make moves here. Trying to get past that 64 machine of Russell Black. I do believe that is a newer name to the series too. I can't remember seeing him in weeks past, so. And Colby Jackson with the Internet Explorer report here, telling us that Austin Edstrom has damage. Yeah.
Perfect.
Thank you, Colby. Just make sure you put the right adjustments in Justin's car this week. Don't do it backwards again. Edstrom just falling off so bad here. You see him lose 2 spots here in this last lap to Bryce Rayner and Daniel Wiles. And it's just going to be a parachute all the way to the tail end of the field here for that kid. But up at the front right now, Sean Conklin showing us what we're more so used to out of him as he pulls away a 7/10 of a second advantage now over his teammate in second place.
Yeah, already lap 25 right now, and forgive my newness here, but do we do stages here, or are we going green the whole time?
basically what you do is you go get the DeLorean that you got parked out there in the garage. Go back to 2003, and that is the entire format all year long.
All right.
Long races, long green flag runs, and no stages. The only thing you get points for, I do believe, is your finishing position and laps led.
Love that, the old school way, which even it kind of makes me question even more. Right, these guys are racing hard, but you kind of have to just get there. You have to get to the front. It's just that cautiously aggressive mind frame. You have to get to the front. You can't be mired in the back, because if we go green the entire time, guess what? You're going to be a long ways away from the leaders, and you got to get there now. So clean pit stops, man, a lot of different factors in this race.
Yeah, it's just it's all about just being consistent, not overstepping, and not making mistakes. 'Cause once you make a mistake in this series, man, you're not getting those spots back. And it's
a wiggle
together.
Oof, the 19 car just got a little loose right there. Justin Levine out of turn 2. That's usually calamity corner. Usually, as a driver myself, turn 2 can get pretty loose, especially on exit. If you don't try and straighten out the exit right there. The 19 just found out what that can do as the 6 behind him hits the wall there out of 4.
Yeah, 2 here is it's so treacherous. You got so much stuff going on that this car absolutely hates. Yeah, you're pushing tight in center. Then you got a whole lot of wheel in it to try and counteract that. You come out, you're in 3rd gear. And it's just a lot of wheel spin, a lot of wheel. You can see yourself into that inside wall real quick if you're not careful.
And the funny thing is too, I mean, turns 3 and 4, if anybody knows what Pocono is like, turn 3, it's a lot of the same kind of feel. If you in the sim here, especially with this car, diving into turn 3 here, the whole how you take 3 and 4 here is a lot like how you take 3 at Pocono. They're very, very similar. Obviously, very different tracks, slightly different banking, but the vibe is still there. So if you're good at turn 3 at Pocono, you're probably going to be really good here, at least in 3 and 4. Turns 1 and 2 are way different.
One thing that a lot of people look at me funny when I say it, but think of Pocono, right? And then think of Phoenix and tell me they're not the same.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely similar. It'd be cool if we can.
It feels so similar. I mean, aside from the dog leg not actually being a corner at all, but one feels so much like Pocono 1, where it just doesn't feel like you're ever actually in the corner.
Right.
And then 3 and 4, same exact feel as 3 at Pocono, which also makes you say Pocono actually has 4 turns, and I'll fight you on that.
I love that take. Although I will say, turn 2 at Pocono, man, I would love to take.
Oh, Levine trying to make a move on Edstrom and gets a little loose, and Edstrom comes down and gives him a door. I thought they were friends all this time.
Now, one thing I'm starting to see here, as we're almost 31 laps into this race, a lot of these guys in turns 1 and 2, they're starting to kind of get into the corner higher and leave higher. So I'm wondering if these cars are getting a little bit loose as the tires wear out, trying to straighten out that corner exit so it doesn't get a little wiggly on exit.
I can absolutely guarantee you. And here's what happened here, though, a few laps ago with Edstrom and Levine. Levine gets down to the inside of Edstrom, coming into 3 and 4. Justin sends it in there, washes up the track a little bit, and comes out, grabs a little too much wheel. Car gets loose, stuffs Austin into the wall a little bit, and Austin says, "Hey, buddy or not, I didn't like that."
Yeah, you might see that a lot, especially at tracks like this. Again, long straightaway tracks. Think about this, Homestead, maybe even Pocono, really. The whole.
Oh, Goulet is loose and hard into the wall out of 2.
Oh.
And he's torn that right front up pretty bad on the Bigfoot Chassis Collective Camry.
Not good. Some right front damage. That'll definitely affect the handling a little bit. Got to be careful there.
Right there, that's what we were just talking about. You were just, mentioning how loose these guys are probably starting to trend coming out of turn 2, and you just see it right there plain as day as he's struggling again.
Oh, no.
Another hard hit for Gulata.
Yeah, that's going to be pit time right here. Have to come down pit road, I would imagine, if he's him. Take the access road.
He's going to bring the 98 Camry down here. And all-star pitting. That's what that looked like there for a second. Up in front, it is Sean Conklin with a 1.6-second advantage over his teammate Roger Pierce in second. Third, now falling back into the hands of Dylan Banks with Adam Benefield in fourth, and Luke Christian rounding out your top 5.
Yeah, the field for the most part pretty well separated right now. Any, racing right now, maybe right here about P18, Chad Kibbe. This whole area right here looking to be, they're starting to get close right now. So it's going to be a matter of, we're kind of in that time frame now, right, where who saved their tires the best, right? If you saved early on in these first 36 laps, then you can probably start inching your way forward right now. So we're going to see guys falling back in the field because of their old tires, but also guys moving forward with the tires they have saved. So at that point, once they meet, we might see some good racing here.
Absolutely. So look at Paul Gallimore trying to get down to the inside of Shane Clore through 3 and 4. And Gallimore going to get the pass completed here on the front straightaway. I see Colby is now talking about the battle between Levine and Edstrom. And Colby, if you're spotting, you might want to click the fast forward button because I think you're a couple laps behind, my man. Look down the back stretch here. Everybody just single file. Not really much you can do here at this point. Everybody just trying to save enough to make it to the pit stop. Edstrom, another hard hit to the outside wall. Car just about jumps out of his hands out of turn 4. And he's going to bring her down here and probably call it a day.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage right there to that right front. Surprised it didn't kill a tie rod or whatnot, but yeah, that car is donezo right now.
See what happened here? Goes to get to the throttle. That's a weird slide because it looked like he had the wheel straight coming out of 4. Everything was good. And
he kind of just stayed in it.
Right back in. Justin Levine going to dive it down pit road here for 4 tires and Sunoco fuel. Try to the undercut to try and pick up a little bit of track position. Like the call. As we look down the front straightaway here, a little bit of a side-by-side action coming into turn 1 here. As I believe that was the 13 machine. Daniel Wiles makes a pass on the 26 of Paul Hill. And now here comes the 41 machine down to 3 and 4. Bryce Rayner going to make a pass on Paul Hill as well. So Paul's starting to fade here in the closing laps of this segment.
Looking at Joseph Goleta right now, getting to the field really quick, obviously on fresh tires. 1 lap down, but man, he is getting right through it, trying to get the lap back the old school way. Passing the leader.
And I think he's got a ways to go, but I'm pretty sure he's going to be able to do it. You see him send to the outside in 3 and 4 to try and get by Roger Pierce. And this is apparently the best looking car in the field, by the way. This is the Graham Crackers racing machine of Dylan Banks. And it is definitely one of the paint schemes of all time. I'll give him that. I do agree. I do agree with our producer. The side looks really good, but it looks like we did a Toyota delete to the Toyota part of the car. It's kind of jarring, not gonna lie. I need my stickers back, man. You see Adam Benefield now working his way up into the 4th spot, trying to get to the back bumper of the 48 machine of Banks. And he's loose out of 2. I'll refrain from saying anything else about Adam Benefield because it seems like anytime I do it, doesn't work in his favor.
Looks like John Binder just came down pit road. We're now rejoining the track surface. 1 lap down, but car looks pretty clean, so long way to go. He should be okay.
4 tires and fuel as well. And now we see the difference in fresh tires as Gulata starts to pull up to the back bumper of the 10 machine of Sean Conklin. That's your race leader. Gulata trying to get his lap back. He seems sending around the outside through 3 and 4. And back on the lead lap for Joseph Gulata. But with 45 laps on the board here and everybody just kind of on a Sunday cruise, we're going to send off to a quick word from our sponsors. We'll be back to bring you more of the racing action here on the grid.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And welcome back to the OB Builders Cup Series. And you saw it there on the side-by-side. Roger Pierce gets really loose out of 3 and 4 and tags down the fence in front of his teammate, Dylan Banks. And a sizable amount of damage to the right side of the 27 Caterpillar Camry. We look a little bit further back. Justin Levine trying to make a pass to the inside of Luke Christian here. Remember, Levine on fresh tires. The rest of these guys around him right now on the stuff that they've had since the green flag came out 50 laps ago. As we see now, the 26 machine of Paul Hill dives down as well.
One car around right here, 33 and turns 2. Made it stick though. I don't think we stay green, but he is really slow. Spun out in turns 1 and 2. Avoided contact.
It's Chris Vinson there. See what happens here. Sends it down to 1 and 2. Gets the back end, steps out, coming in. Looks like a little bit of wheel hop coming into the corner. Maybe shifted down a little too early.
That definitely can be a factor, right? A lot of these guys are braking too hard in late into these races. Especially, I mean, right now we're on 52 lap old tires. It's going to be tough. I mean, brake bias. He's going to go around again right here. He's around right now.
Sideways, and that's going to be the yellow. And for all the guys that have pit here on this cycle, that pretty much solidifies that they're going to be stuck in the back of the pack here. Anybody that tried for an undercut, that opportunity's kind of gone now.
Yeah, and that's so tough, right? Because, I mean, especially with a series like this, where they go green a lot, you can kind of play around with strategy. But me as a driver, man, I always want to go and get fuel when I absolutely have to because of things like this, right? You just never know when a caution comes out. And if you're already on pit road, you're completely screwed. So you really need to stay out front, pit when you can. That way you don't get, mired back in traffic or get sent to the back. It's so difficult to know when, but you have to be able to control your own destiny.
Yeah, difficult situation here for a couple guys. I know Levine, Gulata, Paul Hill literally just came down pit road himself, and a handful of others. Not much you can do about it either. Vincent was definitely struggling with a loose handling race car and just loses it there. Once you get that right rear heat up, it's not going to come back down. As you see Sean Conklin leading the charge onto pit road here.
This is a big stop right here. I mean, obviously 4 tires fuel would be exactly what I want to do. 54 laps into the race, and we're just about at halfway. We're getting to it at least. Got to make sure you get this pit stop clean. Get out in front. This is the easiest way to pass cars is right now, right? So try and get it done. Clean stops.
And the question is, who's going to throw a little 2-tire fire here? There's an opportunity to be made on this stop to pick up a bunch of track position, but it looks like nobody going to go with it.
I love the 2-tire call, but not right now. I think later on, if we get a late green flag run or late green flag pit stop or even a caution, I think that 2-tire stop is when you do it. You'll have the track position, and tires won't matter as much later on.
I'll say, though, it did work for Roger last night in NIS. He said that the last time he put 4 tires on was like lap 30 or something like that. Ran the rest of the race on 2 tires, and it worked out for him.
It's not a bad call. I mean, right now, if you're in the back of the field right here during this caution, I think, to your point, yeah, you come in, take the 2 tires. Why not? Like, if you net gain anything, it's a win for you.
So, Steve, looks like you have plenty of fanfare in the chat here this evening.
Oh, do I now? Love that.
Also, we are getting a delayed yellow or delayed green here. Somebody in the back not able to line up the way that they wanted to.
No.
We can look at the replay here on board of Vincent. Pulls it down on 1 and 2. And remember, he spun out last lap.
Spinneroonie here.
3rd gear on the dash.
Looked like the exact same thing that happened to bring out the yellow to begin with, but so interesting here. P1. Oh, my bad. Dylan Banks are here actually in P2. Scoring tower said P1 for a second for Banks, but it was just slightly in front of him, so.
This gives everybody another chance here.
This is a good
It's like
mental reset, I feel like, for a lot of these guys too. I mean, you know, you just ran what 50 something laps, and you can kind of catch your breath now. You know, you just ran a 50 lap stint essentially, right, in the road racing world. I'm getting ready here for the Indy 6 hour here this weekend, so I'm in road course endurance mode. But I mean, when you look at that 50 lap run, you know, now you know what you can or maybe shouldn't do in this next 50 laps. So for me, I'm going to evaluate how that first 50 laps went. You know, was saving my tires effective? Was it not? You know, kind of looking at my tire wear after that pit stop, seeing where I stand, and then making adjustments for the second half of the race.
Yeah, if I'm Banks, I'm looking to somehow find a way to save more tire than Conklin on this run. We saw how fast he seemed at the start of the run, but I feel like he was maybe backing himself up to the nose of the 27 machine of Pierce a little bit, trying to get Pierce to burn off his stuff. And it was highly effective because we saw how big of a gap Sean was able to pull in the field. I mean, he was cruising away from it. But as we work into 3 and 4 here, lights out on the iRacing pace car. Pace car makes a hard descent down pit road and into the OB restart zone here. Fuel in the hands of Sean Conklin and Dylan Banks. And the green flag is out, and Sean Conklin getting through the gears clean. He's going to pull himself a nice half car length advantage before we get into turn 1. And here comes Adam Benefield trying to make something happen to the inside of Dylan Banks through 1 and 2. All the way up against the curbing. To the bottom of the track, and Benefield goes around out of turn 2.
A quick caution, but I'll tell you what, this is unfortunately the byproduct of needing the track position, right? I mean, we've seen, again, the first 54 laps, how hard it was to pass, and right now, Benefield doing what he can to try and make that happen. Fortunately, back to the pack he goes.
Is right on board here, and you know, cold tires inside of the track. Got a lot of RPM being jammed into the rear of this car. And once you get down there, man, it can snap on you before you even know it. And you see he's trying to avoid getting it into the door of Dylan Banks. Doesn't want to move him up the track like some people, you know, wouldn't worry about doing. And unfortunately for Benefield, it just back end snaps around on him, trying to keep it clean. And to the end of the field he goes.
It's tough. Just going back to that turn 1 and 2, it's not necessarily that the apron is, you know, covered in marbles or whatnot. It's just a different pavement, if I recall, but also it's just flatter than the second and third lane. So it's that progressive banking and how hard that is to, you know, make an effective corner on that apron. It's just not gonna usually work. As we're seeing a couple of guys come down pit road. Smart move, actually, in my opinion. If you're anywhere in the maybe second half of the field, come back down, top off on fuel. You'll probably see the benefit of that later on in this race.
Yeah. Definitely a rough break there. And, you know, another part of it, too, is, I mean, these cars, this next-gen car, you know, you have to put a little bit extra wheel in it to make the bottom line work. You know, the old Gen 6 car, the Xfinity, I almost call it the Bush car. Man, I'm showing my age up here. the Xfinity car, the truck, you know, you get down on the inside of somebody, and you can put that extra wheel into it because you got that side force that's going to, you know, help keep the car in place, keep you from snapping around like that, so long as they don't take the air off of the corner. But with this next-gen car, you know, you've got nothing to lean on. You put that extra wheel into it, and it starts to get loose. It's not going to get a little bit loose. It's going to go all the way around on you. Yeah,
they snap right on you, especially in cold. I mean, cold tires are just deadly in these cars. And you add that with, I mean, right now, you know, the dirty air and the aero grief that we see with these cars nowadays that are just so difficult to, you know, get around and manage. It's, yeah, it's a lot to manage for sure, and a lot to handle for these drivers.
Tell you what, one thing that I learned about at Darlington that I didn't know these cars had that I took a lot of advantage of was taking the air off people's spoilers. I did not know that was as effective as it is. There's like 4 laps in a row. I got right to somebody's rear bumper, and they ended up having to chase it down to the inside wall, and I was like, man, that works. Let me try it again. It was great. I like having that tool.
It works well, but also, too, if you're a leader or somebody trying to defend your position, you can just block them with the air, right? Take away that clean air, give them the dirty air off the back end of your car, and they really can't do anything. They get tighter. They can't rotate as well. A track like this, where it's pretty tight cornering for the most part, it's going to be pretty big. So you just have to get out in front. These restarts are your best chance to pass these cars. So again, going back to that cautiously aggressive mind frame, right? You want to get to the field now, make some passes, try and see if you can hold on to it for this long run.
Yeah, and we've seen that, you know, the dirty air be the determining factor in just about every race that we've covered here since we got the change a couple weeks back. Or sorry, it's been a couple months back now at this point. But into the restart zone again. Let's see if we get a cleaner stack at it this time. Sean Conklin leading Dylan Banks. And Conklin to the gas. He's going to slide up in front of Dylan Banks here. Way better restart this time for Conklin than last time. Not even a chance for Banks to get to the bumper in a 1 and 2. Side by side, though, and Banks goes around. A little bit of contact with the 13, I think. And a huge crash out of turn 2.
Yeah, this is just cataclysmic for this field right now. So many guys banged up right now. Not good. But I mean, this is one of those times, right? Cautions breed cautions. We saw a nice clean start to this race. Obviously, you know, long race to go at that point. But right now, we're approaching halfway, and it's just it's not really time to go yet, right? We're not in desperation mode to get to the front. But I'll tell you what, these guys, man, trying to get it together, it's tough. Now, for the ones who didn't get involved in this, again, I think as a driver, come down pit road, top off on fuel, right? That's going to be the mind frame for me, at least. If I'm back half of the field, every single caution, you know, God willing, we don't get involved in it. Coming down pit road, getting that fuel, and, you know, putting myself in a better situation for the end of the race. Because you don't know how these yellows, if they happen after this, will fall out, right? I mean, you might find yourself in a position where you needed fuel, and you have it now, because now you're topping off. Now you can maybe, you know, save a pit stop and bypass the leaders. Anything helps.
Pasalakwa getting what looks, you know, like the worst of it there. Gets tagged by a handful of cars. We're on board with Roger Pierce here. He's working the bottom lane. And he just doesn't see anything happen. Gets up to the back of Chris Hudson, and by the time he gets there, he has no opportunity to check out of it because, I mean, you don't see these cars coming around when you're mired in traffic. It's so hard to see through this next-gen car to the car in front of you. Pierce reporting from pit road. He's only got 15 seconds of damage, so that is a lifesaver for him. And Paul Hill felt pretty bad about that because he was the one that kind of helped push Roger through that. You see Pasalakwa catches a really rough part of this. Gulati gets tagged around their last second. Bunch of really fast cars just get torn up here in an absolute parking lot in the back straightaway. And we see the initial contact there, and like I said a few minutes ago, I just think that's two cars meeting in the middle. You know, see Banks come down ever so slightly, and you see a little bit of a slide up from the bottom scene from the 13, the Daniel Wiles, and I think anybody wanted to see that happen.
And that right there was 3 quick cautions. So, I mean, right now, you know, driver's mindset, it's like, man, we went 54 laps to start this race. Now we went 3 quick cautions. You know, what are we going to get this next restart? Find out here.
As we work into the restart zone here again, hopefully it's going to be green from here on out. Daniel Wiles now to the outside of Sean Conklin. And a good clean start for Sean again. Gets a great jump on the field here to the start-finish line. About 3 car lengths separating him from the 13 machine before we get into turn 1. Let's see if we make it through clean this time. All good for the top 5 runners.
Yeah, 3 wide in the back, though. Got to be careful here on exit of 2.
Oh, Vincent tags the fence on the outside. for the 27 machine, Roger Pierce. See Pierce staying way to the bottom of the track here, coming back in. Wondering if maybe he got a penalty of some sort he has to serve here. Turn 4, big wiggle for the 28 machine of Tim Wortman Jr. Here comes Brandon Pastelaka trying to send it down on the bottom. This is the battle for 11th place. It's about to be a 3-wide battle for 10th, though. Tim Wortman Jr. working the outside line to try and get past the 17 machine of Paul Gallimore with a bit of a tandem draft down the straightaways from Joseph Gulata.
Yeah, these are the guys right here you have to watch out for. About 10th on back. These guys are racing hard, trying to get themselves into that top 10, trying to get themselves into higher positioning. We get closer and closer to halfway here.
Oh, Schaffner stuffs it into the fence on the front straightaway, allowing Reese Schaefer to get by for 6th. And also, look at, with all the carnage on that last wreck, look who's moved himself back up into 4th place. The 83 machine of Benefield. He spun caution before last, went all the way to the tail end of the field. Now he's back in the top 5 with a second chance at life.
Great track position, but you got to be careful too, because he might be one of the ones who didn't come down and top off a couple times in these last few cautions. So while it seems like he's in a good spot, which he is, man, what are we thinking about for fuel, right? So that's a big part of this second half. Great running order for him right now in P4, but that fuel, a lot of these guys in the back of the field have better fuel right now than the leaders. So we'll see how that plays out second half of this race.
The good news for Benefield, though, is we did have, a handful of caution laps after his spin. So, obviously came down, topped off, put 4 tires on it on pit road there. Now he's got the opportunity as well, with the amount that he's saved under caution, because, we all have the clutch kicked all the way down to the floor. Any lap we run on caution at anything, because you never know. But with this track having such long braking zones and so much time off throttle, he's got an opportunity to really save a lot of gas around this speedway.
Great point. Again, it goes back to my, the 3 rules of this track, right? The 3 things to watch, right? Race this track like a road course. It really is. Different shifting points. You're shifting 3 times a lap on average here. But to your point, yeah, you can save so much fuel by not even shifting, right? Maybe you take turn 3 and 4 in 5th gear, not 4th or 3rd, like turns 1 and 2. So you can definitely save a lot of fuel here, but all depends on how this race goes. And right now, good racing right here in the middle of the pack.
Yeah, and also, look who's up at the point right now. Conklin, race leader, stayed out through the entire caution cycle. And typically whatever decision Conklin makes seems to be the right one to make. You see Adam Benfield diving down to the inside here of Daniel Wiles for the 3rd spot. Moving himself up through the field here pretty quick on a recovery drive in that Team Conti Chevrolet. And speaking of recovery drives, Joseph Gulata tagged the wall down. Heavy damage, came down pit road early, lost a whole bunch of time with the caution. Making moves right now on the outside of Brian Johnson to move himself up into 5th place. He was spinning around backwards on that last caution.
Sure was. Yeah, these cautions can sometimes give you a whole new fresh, breath air, right? In these races, a lot of guys doing different strategies throughout the cautions, the pit road, all those things. So right now, a lot of guys definitely finding some luck.
Now the field's starting to calm down a little bit. Everybody getting stuck into that single file procession that we know and love so much here at Gateway. One guy that hasn't recovered the way that he wants to just yet, though, Dylan Banks, sitting there in 9th spot right now. Remember, he inherited the lead after Roger Pierce's incident earlier. Or not the lead, but 2nd place. Now just trying to work himself back up through this pack.
Yeah, and speaking of Roger right now, he's right now in 22nd spot. He's actually on the lead lap, just on the very tail end of it. Has a lot of time left to go if he were to get caught by the leaders. So just needs a caution here to get himself, back into the game. Obviously, with his speed, can definitely make it happen, but long way to go still.
Oh, I think Roger had to serve a drive-through for something there. It did that last restart because he dove down pit road last second. So with the 54 machine of Randy Mullins. Just
Great
hanging
pass
out right
on the
now.
outside.
Yep, getting by Paul Hill. Edstrom returned to the track a little bit earlier ago. 5 laps down though, after the heavy contact with the wall that resulted in a tow for him. As we see Adam Benefield now diving to the inside of Matt DiCiani. And DiCiani doing what we're used to seeing. You know, we don't talk about him the first majority of the race. Finds himself up into the top 5 in those closing stages. It looks like he's trying to save a little bit as he lets both Benefield and Gulata go by him into one.
You know, one thing I'm looking at that Sean Conklin is doing so well, especially in turns 1 and 2, he's kind of lightly dominating the corner of 1 and 2. Kind of comes in mid to slightly high into turn 1, but then kind of dives it down, you know, and then kind of peaks back up a bit, second or third lane, and then straightens out the exit. That's huge because when you straighten the exit out, you don't turn the wheel as much. So you get less and less loose. You can just kind of power down easily and sooner. Gives you a lot of speed down the backstretch, which definitely translates to speed. Obviously, P1 right now looking pretty good.
Yeah, Sean doing a great job. You know, what we're used to seeing out of him here, but Benefield closing that advantage here. But I'm just wondering how much of this is Sean, you know, using his advantage with this clean air to force these guys to kind of run out here and burn their stuff off.
Yeah, this seems right here like Benefield pushing. It seems like he just wants that clean air, wants to see what it'll do for him. And it could, I mean, that could matter a lot, right? But, man, it's still a little early. We got 1 lap to go until halfway here. But a good time to see if your car can make it happen. So why not?
See Benefield get a good run out of 3 and 4 there. Conklin sending it deep into 1 and 2. Goes for that diamond again. Benefield all over the back bumper. Conklin gets a way better drive down this back straightaway by using that diamond. Kind of reminds me a little bit of the old New Hampshire line from back in the day. Just less dramatic though, because I don't know if you were around back then, Steve, but we used to send it in deep, let it ride all the way up just about to the wall, and then get it to cut and hammer down on the straightaway.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Benefield looking pretty good though on the inside lane. And again, wrapping that corner of 3, very, very key. You can kind of go on the rumble strips there, but you got to be careful, especially later on in a run, because those get pretty greasy and can definitely turn that car around pretty quick. But everyone so far not having a big issue with 3 and 4. 1 and 2 though, especially 2 on exit, is for sure calamity corners here tonight.
Right now, Benefield still hounding the back of the 10 machine of Conklin, but Conklin's starting to creep away a little bit. Benefield sends it deep into turn 3 to get up to the bumper in center. Conklin's going to get that drive off, but it's not going to be enough, though. Benefield's still right there on him.
Definitely a run for his money, but you got to watch out. Look at this 3. Galletta, 3rd place. DiCiani, not too far back either. So, but this is one of those tracks too. I know I keep saying it, right? But road course mentality. You only, if you're Sean Conklin, you only need to stay out in front ahead of P2. You don't need a 5, 6, 7 second lead, right? You just need to be race hard enough to be in front of 2nd place. So in a case like this, Conklin, I feel like right now, mid-race, he's kind of racing, you know, backwards in a way, right? He's kind of making sure that he's just out in front of P2, 1, to save his tires, back up a little bit to save some fuel, So I think this is huge for Sean Conklin because he's doing what he has to do to win the race. He's not, doesn't have to be out in front by a whole lot. And this is why, for many reasons, Conklin is just so good.
Yeah, you talk about road course, too, at the same time. I mean, I can't think of anybody that's done any better on the road courses here in iRacing in recent memory than get behind the wheel of that 10 machine, Sean Conklin. I mean, he's dominated every road course we've been to all season long for the past 2 years. You see Benefield trying to go to the outside here, try to get a little bit of clean air to the nose of that Team Conti Chevrolet. Gets a really good run out of 3 and 4 that go around.
Yeah, making a good run for it for sure. Just needs to get himself right tucked in underneath that number 10 machine. His best chance to do it is probably out of turn 2. Obviously, looks like he struggles there just a little bit, not as fast as Sean through it. But if he can find himself tucked up underneath that 10 on the outside of turn 2, his best chance, run down into turn 3.
Really good corner there for Sean that time, though. Puts himself a little bit of a nest egg here between him and Adam Benefield.
I'll tell you what, right now, good stuff in the back. Tim Wortman, 28, kind of going backwards a little bit. Too wide here. A couple of passing opportunities for a couple of these guys. 26, making some moves too. Paul Hill climbing through the field here.
Paul Hill still with heavy damage to the right front of that car from that incident earlier. The big one we had out of turn 2. Impressive to see him being able to make any kind of forward movement right now with basically the hood lifted halfway off the car. Coming across the line here to take lap 89. Field strongly in the hands of Sean Conklin. And a Benefield sitting in P2 with Joseph Villada 3rd, 4th, and 5th, or DeCiani and Wiles. Wiles, kind of sneaking his way up here this evening. Started a little bit further in the back. Didn't really talk about him much. Sitting on a strong top 5 finish right now, which is definitely something to be proud of here in the OB Builders Cup Series. I mean, he's going against the, you're going against the best of the best. Have a nice quiet day at one of the more grueling tracks in the circuit. Always feels pretty good.
Still watching Benefield right now. He's kind of fallen off here from the tail end of Conklin. About 3.5 tenths off right now. Field's starting to really kind of spread out here. So this is a good chance for these guys to kind of get into that long-term mode. We saw a little caution fest, every couple of cautions here, a little less than halfway, but now it's time to settle back in again, get back into long run mode. This could really help guys who had to climb through the field, right? Benefield, Galata.
Yeah, Sean doing what he does best, just letting these guys wear themselves out behind him, then pulling away once he knows that they're weak. And this is kind of week in, week out. We see this with Sean up here at the front of the pack. But 91 laps on the board here, and everybody, for the most part, singled out and just trying to figure out how to make it to the next pit stop. Look at Justin Levine here, further in the back, moving himself up to 9th place. Recovery drive for him, too. Remember, he had to come down and serve a penalty earlier for a passing under yellow when he was the lucky dog. Which
I got to say,
for passing under yellow is what you're supposed to do. But hey, who am I to go against iRacing's officiating?
I'd be really curious right now to know what the fuel levels are for these drivers. Obviously, we're past the halfway point, just about 67 laps away now. So pretty positive they have to pit at least once more for fuel, but I'd love to know what they're looking at. 19 car might be coming down pit road here. Justin Levine might be kicking off green flag stops here.
Justin Levine bringing the Mac Tools Camry down to pit road here. So he's going to be the first one to go for the undercut. Knew that he was mired in traffic, losing time. Might as well send it in, try to get on the front end of it. But here's the problem that you put yourself in here. Now, remember last time we saw a handful of guys make that same strategy call, and it didn't work out for any of them.
Yeah, this right here is a fantastic call if a caution does not come out. If you get this race green and clean, and it keeps that way after your pit stop, man, this is going to be huge because the undercut here is big. Tire wear is so different. New tires make a massive difference, couple second difference on lap time. So this is huge, but has to stay green if you're that 19.
Absolutely. I mean, these guys start the run off running 32-second lap times. For Conklin, for example, his best lap of the race was the 32.7 when we took the green flag earlier. And drops all the way down to about a 34 flat. So definitely make up a whole lot of time, but the caution comes out. Not going to be getting it back. With 96 laps on the board here, we're going to take another quick word from our sponsors. We'll be back to bring you more of the OB Builders Cup Series action here on the grid.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And welcome back to the OB Builders Cup Series as we watch John Bender bring it down pit road after a bit of a slide there a lap ago. He brings the 23 Chevrolet into his box, and we pull up the replay of what happened there. Comes through 1 and 2. and just gets down that seam. Car jumps back around on him, chases it down to the grass, and does a great job to keep it straight, to keep us under the green flag. And you know Justin was probably behind the wheel screaming when he saw that 23's door number in his mirror.
Exactly.
He's trying to get back on the lead lap.
One more car, 72 into the wall, the inside of turn 2. Shane Clore hits the wall, keeps it going. Might not be
Heavy
terrible
damage.
but yeah.
Heavy damage to the left front of the Logitech Mustang. It's right on board with Clore here. It's going to be a bit of the same here. Just gets on that seam, a little too much wheel in it, a little too much throttle, and around she goes. And once you hit that grass, you really run out of any opportunity to correct it.
Yeah, and that's the tough part too, especially at a track like this. Really, in any situation where you're tough cornering, you want to unwind the wheel, right? You want to turn more right to straighten out coming out onto the straightaway as you're accelerating. If you're accelerating, but you're also still pointed to the left, you're probably going to go around. And that looks like the case right there for that.
So we see Conklin up here with a 1 second advantage over Adam Benefield, who's sitting in second place right now. Sitting third, 2 seconds back. DeCiani, as we watch Brian Johnson try to get to the back bumper of Daniel Wiles here. And Johnson putting together a stellar race as well in that 4 machine. You know, Brian, one of those guys that's kind of been caught up in everybody else's misfortune this season, finally getting a race to run roughly about how he wants it to, and sitting here in the top 5. Great run for him this week.
Yes, sir. A couple of guys coming down pit road as well. Paul Hill looks like, and Tim Wortman as well coming down pit road for their 4 tires and fuel. Curious to know when some of the leaders decide to come, because once they do, Sean Conklin should be pretty close behind him.
Start working our way to crunch time. You see the 54 machine, Randy Mullins, dive down pit road now. Conklin opting to stay out this go, though. Benefield as well. No big movement from your top 5 cars. And Dylan Banks has worked himself back up into 6th place here. And there's Reese Schaefer sitting in 7th place in the 97 machine. A good quiet run out of him so far tonight.
Looking like Brian Johnson taking that left onto pit road. More taker here.
As you watch Brian Johnson bring the Paradigm Chevrolet down to his box. But we've also reached that point in the run where looks like Sean's starting to wick it up a little bit as he pulls away 2 seconds now over Adam Benefield. Picking up a second here in the last handful of laps.
It's a great time to do it because you know you get a pit soon. So, I mean, go on to 100% mode. Try and get as much of a gap as you can during these green flag pit stops. This is big. This is when you, to your point, turn the wick up and just drive through these guys. It's a game changer.
One thing, Wiles is not losing the back bumper of that 5 machine of DeCiani here in the closing stages of this segment. Wiles really putting together a good run. A lot of pace out of that 13 machine this week. See him go for a little bit of a diamond there through 1 and 2. Bit of a wiggle out of the 5 machine of DeCiani coming down the back straightaway.
We're at the part of the race too where you're your bed's kind of made, right? I mean, you're where you are on track, and if we stay green, really your only hope of, making big moves or big position gains is if a caution comes out. I mean, you're not going to, do a whole lot. Now, I think we're still in that realm right now. I mean, lap 111, about 50 to go, give or take. I like the idea of somebody coming down here and taking 2 tires, 2 right sides, and just seeing what you can do with it, right? Because you do save quite a bit of time on pit road. So if you're somebody maybe, I don't know, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th in that area, come down, take the right side tires. I mean, make a gamble. Why not, right? And see if you can get this thing to the front of the field.
I see Lou Christian bringing the 3 machine down pit road here for his final stop of the afternoon. Conklin now 3 seconds separating him and Benefiel. And I know Ken Byron is probably smiling from ear to ear right now with the late run pace in that 10 machine here. And this is probably the only chance that they've gotten to really see the long run pace this week, because in the A Opens and the NISs, it's pretty much been a race won by the pace car. You see Brian Johnson trying to hold off Dylan Banks. Banks going to send it down pit road here, though. And, into the grass. A little too hard of a send for Dylan Banks. Going to have to come back around and try it again, but that's a massive loss of time now, as that pushes him all the way back to the 97 of Reese Schaefer.
And that's the difference, right? I mean, if you're trying to come down pit road, you have to take the access road here in turn 3. So you can't forget that, first and foremost. But also, too, lap down traffic, guys who have already come down pit road. Back to my point earlier, fresh tires versus old tires at this point. The difference in time is so different. Braking zones change drastically. So got to be so careful at this point during green flag stops.
COL is going to send it down pit road. DeCiani as well. I'm trying to see if there's a John Deere sticker or something somewhere on that machine of Banks. Of unexpected landscaping from Gateway, but 3.5 seconds now the advantage for Sean Conklin.
Now, to your point, DeCiani, you gave up 3rd spot right there to come down pit road. So when does Benefield and Conklin follow as well? Because if this goes on for much longer, we're going to see a big advantage for DeCiani here. He'll definitely gain some track position. Just a matter of how much right here if Conklin and Benefield wait long.
Tell you what, with the long run pace of Conklin, though, I don't think there's, as much benefit to pitting early as you would think for anybody else. I mean, that car is absolutely lights out fast right now. I mean, he's pulling. Well, now it was up to 5 seconds there before Benefield came down pit road, but as much as he's pulling here, as Benefield locks up, almost goes around on pit road. As much as he's pulling, though, he can pretty much stay out as long as he wants.
Great point, to be honest. And right there, yeah, Benefield locking up. I wouldn't be surprised maybe if you get a speeding penalty there. Looked pretty quick. Have to wait and see. As here comes the leader, Sean Conklin.
All he needs is a good, clean entry, no speeding penalties. And he's more or less got this thing locked up without a caution.
So right now, Sean Conklin coming down pit road. Right now, a new leader, Chris Davis. Paul Gallimore right in tow right here in the number 17 machine. So Chris Davis might get a lap lead here.
It's been a pretty good run for Chris Davis as well, sitting around that top 10 all day long.
Consistency is
out of pit road here.
Consistency is so key, especially in races like this, right? I mean, no stages, just a straight race. It's not necessarily how you do the entire race, just what you do and where you are on that last lap is what counts for your season total points. So good run for sure for a couple of guys.
Also remember, Justin Levine pit before anybody else.
Very true.
Conklin was able to beat him off of pit road.
Good point. Now, granted, we still have a couple of guys left to pit here in the top 10, but yeah, you're right. Levine right now is currently in P9, so I mean, he definitely is going to be in a good position here. Obviously, no cautions came out during this run, so not bad. Now he has less fuel than everybody else in front of him, and also, or I guess behind him at this point, and older tires, but it might work out.
You want the battle for fourth. Gulata going to take over the 27 machine down the back straightaway and get past Roger Pierce. Pretty sure Gulata pit pretty early in this segment himself as he gets up to the back bumper now of the 6th machine of Brandon Pasalacqua. He's going to have about a 10-second lead over Sean Conklin here. Question is, how quick is Conklin going to whittle into that? We saw how much long run pace that 10 car has.
I mean, yeah, right now, definitely Conklin putting on one hell of a show. Just very dominant. Obviously knows how to get around this track and put down the lap time. And to your point, right now, long green flag runs, I mean, has that gap to kind of be able to just relax a bit. Doesn't have to go super hard, doesn't have to run qualifying laps, right? He can just do his thing, back up corners if he needs to. Right now, it's just smooth sailing for that 10.
You see Conklin starting to work himself to the back bumper, the 4 machine of Brian Johnson for 6th. Chris Davis still staying out here, trying to keep it out as long as he possibly can in that 74 machine. Probably praying for a caution to come out right now, too. He's having to completely flip this race on its head for these drivers.
Well, that's kind of what you're doing right now. If you're anybody in this top, what's that, top 6, you want the caution, to your point, because, hey, you get, a new lease on life, get to get those fresh tires, maybe be able to kind of recoup a good race finish. We're getting down to the wire, lap 123. 35 laps to go here.
I'll tell you, two guys that probably don't want to see that yellow flag fly, though. It's going to be that 91 machine there of Gulata. Has a really good opportunity to get up here and get the lead, and depending on how the tire wear sways, might have something to at least hold Sean Conklin at bay. But Sean Conklin definitely wanting to hang on, keep this thing green as well, because 15 seconds back, a lot of these guys in front still got a pit. And he knows that he is racing that 98 machine to get the job done here tonight. And with a substantial tire advantage.
Yes, sir. Conklin right now just passing Brian Johnson. Gets himself into that top 6, so definitely on the move here.
He's at turn 2 down the back straightaway, trying to put a little bit of leg room between him and Brian Johnson. Next car for Sean Conklin to try and take on is going to be the 6th machine of Brandon Pasalacqua. It's about a 3-second advantage to Pasalacqua right now, but it's diminishing quick as Conklin starts to reel in on those fresh tires.
Oh, no, looking like Justin Levine coming back down pit road here. Maybe that early stop.
I think he was trying to two-stop it.
Looking like it. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to work out well for him. Obviously, going to lose a lot of time here, but might work. We'll see.
When straightforward isn't working in your favor, you try something different. Might be a little too different. 30 laps to close on these guys, and with fresh tires, I don't think it's going to be good enough. Definitely not going to be a good point stay for that 19 machine if it goes how it's going.
Yeah. Now, the only time I think I can see that working, come down pit road now like he is, get the fresh tires, fuel, top it off. Now, if a caution comes out, either now or soon, he might not come down pit road again for tires like everybody else will. So he might find himself in the front of the field just by not pitting because he just pit right here. So that might work if we see a caution here. I would expect that Levine doesn't pit just to get that track position. That might work out for him. We'll see.
Also, not sure what the what the tire allotment is this week. That might have been his final set. Justin said, I paid for all the tires. I'm going to use them. One driver that's absolutely flying right now. It's that 5 machine of DeCiani. Rolls himself past the 6 machine of or sorry, no, he's just unlapping himself from the 6 machine. Apologies there, but he's sitting in the 7th spot.
Right now, Sean
Not
Conklin.
11, just passing. Sorry about that.
Oh, good. Conklin passing Roger Pierce right now. It seemed like Roger was probably going to try and want that yellow flag, obviously, but goes a lap down right here. So I would expect Pierce to pit this time by, try and minimize the damage done right now with this strategy.
And right now, Conklin, nothing separating him from the 98 machine of Gulata now, aside from, a 3-second advantage. Clean track to the back of the 98 machine. And this will likely end up being your battle for the win. Because I don't know how much longer Davis and Gallimore can keep it out here on the track. Currently, your 2 leaders have been on track for 71 laps. So that fuel window is starting to press to these guys.
Yeah, I mean, right now, a big time advantage, but they have to pit at this point. Ooh! Who was that?
3 wide out of 2. That's not going to work.
Yeah, 34 got bumped right there by Binder. It looks like, yeah, the 23 car could have been damaged right there. In trouble.
And all that.
Sends it.
Oh, when he's sliding up.
They want to wreck.
64 machine just about gets into the door of your race leader through 3 and 4. And it's still a mess here between your first 2 cars. And Bender trying everything he can to try and get past the 64 machine. A little bit of contact out of turn 2. Bender trying to get past Russell Black. Going to clear himself on the back straightaway. John Bender's going to take the spot. These two also on different laps from each other. And Black sends it into 3. Looked like he was trying to knock the bumper off the 23 car.
Yeah, and that's the case for here, right? Old tires versus new. I mean, we're seeing guys who Bender looks like clearly has new tires trying to get through these leaders right now.
As it looks like we have Grid Vision 100% USDA certified beef between the 23 car and the 64 car of Russell Black. And that was not what these leaders wanted to see, because they need a little bit of advantage they had before they come down pit road here is completely diminished by those 2 cars on Freshies racing them hard. As you see the 17 machine, Paul Gallimore going to dive it down pit road. And now it's going to move Joseph Gulata up into 2nd place, and Sean Conklin just right off the deck lid here on the front straightaway. And Gallimore misses his pit box by a lot on that stop. A little further back, Adam Benefield down to the inside of the 4 machine of Brian Johnson. Battle for 5th place. And Benefield was sent down into 3 and 4 and take the spot with ease. Benefield a little bit fresher stuff here than Johnson. And for what's going to be the lead, Sean Conklin gets to the inside of Gulata in 1 and 2, and he's going to take it.
There it is. One more driver to go through, though. Chris Davis has not come down pit road yet, so definitely expecting him to do it, but when?
And right there, that is the difference in tires. We just saw a play there. I got to give credit to Davis not breaking off of this strategy. He's going to get every last drop out of this tank before he brings it down pit road. It may not work out for him as he just signals that he's going to pit this time. But I definitely like the fact that he committed to it and tried to make something happen when, you know, likelihood is there was another opportunity for that 74 machine today. Davis going to bring it down and pit just shy of 20 laps remaining. And Sean Conklin cycles back to your race lead.
Yeah, I don't hate the strategy, you know. I mean, right now, you know, guys like that, they have to do something different than the leaders to try and, you know, salvage the race or try and get positions that maybe they couldn't have gotten. But hey, definitely good effort.
I mean, if they'd happened to have gotten a caution, though, during that sequence, you know, that would have been a massive net positive for any of the guys that stayed out. As you run on board with Benefield now, who's gotten to the back bumper of the 5 machine of DeCiani. And with the pace that Benefield's got, looks like it could very well end up being a P2 here for him.
I'll tell you what, right now, it's been a great race, but a lot of close racing we're still seeing, man. A late race caution would feed families. This would just turn itself on its head. Great stuff all throughout the field we're seeing.
Definitely been a great race. A lot of varying strategies at play here. Kind of makes me sad we got that caution cycle in the middle of the first run. So I really wonder where we'd be with all the different options that we could have had here. But now Benefield is starting to work himself up to the back bumper of the 98 machine of Joseph Gulata. This is the battle for second place. Benefield takes a peek down to the bottom here in 3 and 4. And he's going to take it out of 4. Gulata going to crack the throttle here on the front straightaway. Let that 83 machine breathe coming into turn 1. And Adam Benefield now up to second. Does he have what it takes to get to the back of the 10 machine of Conklin, though?
Good point. We saw Benefield. I mean, he got right to the back end of Conklin and was racing pretty hard. Never actually got side by side to him, but 3.5 seconds just about of a difference. Too much time left to do it.
Question is, too, when did Benefield pit in relation to Conklin? Is everybody all across the board here on this last run? So Conklin and Benefield on basically the same set of tires. 1 lap difference between the two. Benefield came down a lap before Conklin. So the odds not necessarily in the 83 machine's favor, but definitely looking on getting a good run cleared away here from Gateway.
And one thing, too, look at Conklin. He's got lap traffic all around him. Semi-fresh tires, able to compete a little bit. Definitely going to slow down his lap times. 3 wide right behind our leader.
Oh, and a little bit of contact. Gallimore almost gets turned around, but does a great job saving it. The 74 of Davis has had nowhere to go when Roger Pierce sent it down to the bottom in 1 and 2. And I don't think Gallimore was aware that they were going to be 3 wide until it was too late. Now Roger Pierce going to unlap himself from his Victory 1 teammate. And here comes Davis to the inside of Conklin in 3 and 4 to try and get a lap back, but it's not going to work out as Conklin uses the top line to pull himself down the straightaway. Now Gallimore looking to the inside of Davis. This is your battle for 16th place happening directly behind your race leader. This is a very nervous place for Conklin to be.
It is, but these guys are justifiably racing right now, right? You have to race for yourself to be the lucky dog, but also the first car a lap down if a caution were to come out. This can get you on that lead lap, either the hard way or the easy way. And these guys definitely racing, try and get past the leader here.
And a little bit of a push down in 1 and 2. Davis gets into the back of the 17 machine of Gallimore. And Gallimore going to clear himself over the 10 machine out of turn 2. And this is also going to be an interesting situation because we know how good Conklin's been on the long runs. These cars are just ever so slightly faster than him right now on the tires. You know they're probably going to come back to him sooner than later. You see Davis now looking to the inside. Not gonna take it though. Not gonna try and put the leader in a bad spot. Respectful move from the 74 machine. Knows that we're just 15 laps remaining in this event.
I'll tell you what, even after all that traffic that Conklin was dealing with, Benefield in P2 lost about 2 or 3 tenths from that exchange. So Conklin, even through that traffic, is still much faster, it looks like.
Yeah, Conklin definitely has this place figured out and basically driving a slot car here at Gateway. As he came across the line that time to take us to 14 laps left in this thing. I'll tell you what, we've seen a little bit of everything here tonight from Gateway. Good long green flag run to start the thing off, altering strategies. A caution fest in the middle to remind us of what we're not missing out on. And then a nice long green flag run to potentially end the deal off. Look at Benefit sitting P2. DeCiani sliding himself up to third on this run. Gulata hanging out in fourth on way older tires than a majority of these guys. Now trying to hold back the hard-charging 13 machine of Daniel Wiles, but Wiles on a little bit fresher stuff might have what it takes to get past that 98 machine. As Conklin comes across the stripe here to take us to 12 laps. And Wiles looks down to the inside of Joseph Gulata here on the front straightaway. What a huge run for the 13. Gets to the quarter panel. Tries to send it down to 1-2. Not able to connect, though. Going to have to drop back a little bit to avoid getting to the back of the 98 machine. Gulata gets to hold the position for one more corner, but here comes Wiles with a huge run down the back straightaway.
All these cars were here for position, so you got to be careful. These 4 guys can definitely gain or lose a couple of spots here at the end of this thing. So hard racing, I expect, these next 10 laps out of these 4 drivers.
And down the front straightaway here, Wiles going to take the position into turn 1 and up to the back bumper of the 4 machine of Brian Johnson all over the back of the 98. Heavy contact through 1 and 2. Gulata showing his displeasure to the 4 machine down the back stretch. And Brian Johnson stuck on the outside. Here comes Luke Christian looking to the inside of Gulata. Great run for Luke Christian here in that 3 machine. Gulata gets stuffed up into the fence a little bit out of turn 4. Christian going to take away the spot. Now Luke Christian trying to move himself up to 5th place. Into 3 and 4, Luke Christian tapering to the outside line to try and get momentum to get a run down this front straightaway to get to the bottom of the 4 into 1. And doesn't get the run that he was looking for. As you see the 4 machine of Johnson starting to pull away ever so slightly down to 1 and 2.
Yeah, it looks like those 4 drivers kind of figured it out. Right now, pretty well spread apart. Luke Christian still on the back end of Brian Johnson here. Might be battling him these last 10 laps. 8 laps, excuse me, but getting down to the wire.
Absolutely. And I can tell you, Sean Conklin's probably about as blue in the face as the paint scheme on that 10 machine. Just holding his breath here, hoping that nobody makes a mistake. Last thing that he's going to have to deal with here, he's basically got this thing locked up. 4 seconds between him and Adam Benefield in 2nd place. Doesn't want to see a caution, a chance at a restart, another chance for somebody to make a mistake, send it in, maybe knock the back bumper off that 10 machine into a corner. Doesn't want to have to fight for it any more than he already has today. As he run aboard with Luke Christian. All over the back bumper of the 4 machine of Brian Johnson as we come down the front straightaway here, but he's not able to get the run that he needs to make something happen to the 4 machine.
Yeah, they are back at it again, racing hard, trying to get every position they can, getting really tight out of 2.
Bad corner for Johnson, but Luke Christian checked up to avoid getting into the quarter panel of the 4 machine. Now Lou trying to cycle to the top, build a late arc through 3 and 4 to get a run. Not going to be enough this time. 6 to go.
Man, battling here. Still. Brian Johnson, Luke Christian right here, actually. Still battling. 6 car. 6 car a lap down, but man, battling for it.
Christian up on the outside here is the 6 machine of Pasalaco and a little bit fresher stuff. Just trying to get himself unlapped here. Going to pass the 3 machine here on the front straightaway. You look right back there behind him. Justin Levine on the alternate strategy that definitely doesn't look like it's going to work in his favor here this evening. And oh, big wiggle there for Joseph Gulata. Just about loses out of turn 2. And Reese Schaefer hard into the wall on the back straightaway.
Oh no, collect it, hold on to it. Yellow flag is out.
Yellow.
Oh no. Reese Schaefer.
Did Gulata maybe lose a right rear? Because that car was wiggling all the way down the straightaway and just head on into the wall for Reese.
Yeah. Man, it's just super hot tires, old tires at this point. I mean, anything offline is going to snap that car around. And
forward with Joseph here. Comes in on the bottom, crosses the seam. And is straight loose out of the corner, tries to collect it. And unfortunately, Reese Schaefer giving him the helping hand to get it straight and taking the condition on himself. This is going to set us up with well, actually no, this will be what ends it. No green white checkers here in the OB Builders Cup Series. This is a walk off under yellow.
I was getting excited too for overtime, but
and I just saved Adam Benefield's life here because apparently he's listening and he forgot about the green-white checkers being turned off here. As Sean Conklin comes to the white flag here under caution. How many years has it been since that statement has been dropped on a live broadcast?
not the most exciting way to end a race, but hey, you know what? Sean Conklin has definitely earned his keep today. Absolutely just dominated today's race.
Oh, just an incredible performance here from Sean Conklin. But I mean, you know, you talked about it in the intro. You know, this track drives very similar to a road course. And it's also a heavy tire wear track. I mean, who else could it be, right? See Sean trying to shift the rear end housing on the 10 machine to make it through tech. That hard right. A little bit of the old Penske technique from back in the day. Working out of 3 and 4 here, and Sean Conklin in an anticlimactic finish, but a dominating run here today at the River City. Going to come across the line to take the caution and the checkered flag to win from Worldwide Technology Raceway. That was what they refer to as an old-fashioned butt whooping.
Yes, sir. Just showed the field. I mean,
Yeah,
put him on notice. Just so good.
He just took the whole field out behind the woodshed this week. Sean not trying to pass the pace car here before he goes to do his burnout. Obviously, he's been bit by the caution flag disqualification bug at some point on here. There we go. We finally get a good smoke show out of him. Stuffs it up into the fence. Hammer down up against the inside wall. What a great run here for the Randy Belk Construction Toyota Camry. Take a look at our unofficial results here. Bringing it home first, Sean Conklin over Adam Benefiel. Matt DeCiani bringing it home third, followed by Daniel Wiles fourth. Fifth place going to Brian Johnson. Luke Christian bringing it home sixth. Dylan Banks with a really strong recovery drive brings it up to seventh, followed by Joseph Gulata, Randy Mullins, and Reese Schaefer rounding out your top 10, Steve.
Yes, sir. P11, Paul Hill, Josh Schaffner, P12, Tim Wortman, great run today. P13, Chad Kibbe, 14th, Roger Pierce, recovered for the most part. P15 today after a hard-fought day. Paul Gallimore, 16th, Chris Davis, P17, Brandon Pasalaqua, oh my gosh, I just destroyed that last name. Pasalaqua, P18, 19th, Justin Levine, 20th, Russell Black.
Hey, don't feel bad. Boris misses that name every time consistently. 21st going to Chris Hudson, followed by John Bender in 22nd. 23rd going to Chris Vincent with Shane Clore in 24th. 25th, the Rocket Man, Austin Edstrom. Definitely fire to launch today with 26 going to Bryce Rayner and Jose Medina running out the 27 car field. But now's the point that we've all been waiting for. Get some of these top three finishers up here for their post-race interview. Well, just got to wait for them to move themselves up into the proper channels. I see Sean's already chomping at the bit. We will start out, though, with P3. Oh, there we go. Oh, I already had him dragged. Crud. That's embarrassing. That never happens anymore. Either way, sitting here with Matt DeCiani, finishing third on the night. Matt DeCiani, you got your ears on, brother?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Oh, man, it was a long, long race. Probably felt like a marathon for you guys out there. But, you know, same thing I see out of you every week, man. You know, you start the race off quiet. We don't even notice you're there. Then, you know, it's inevitable. Death taxes and a Matt DeCiani top 5. Walk us through the race and the strategies.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take third. I honestly was not happy with my car the whole night. I think with the colder track temps, I was just so tight into 3 mainly, and just fighting that all night. Just kept loosening it up throughout the race. And yeah, I mean, I don't know what we had a lot of those cautions there, and I kind of avoided one of those wrecks that kind of just gave me the track position, and then it was just try to manage as long as I could, because I kept eating my right front up. But I mean, yeah, I mean, felt like I got the car close near the end of the race, but yeah, I mean, Sean and Adam had me pretty beat by a few tenths there at the end of the runs.
Oh, to take a car that you feel like you're kind of a little bit behind the 8 ball with this week at one of the tracks. This place is so SEP dependent. You know, it's not like you can really do anything different here to compensate. But to bring this thing home P3 tonight, how's it feel, man?
Yeah, feels pretty good. I know that I myself as a driver was not doing a great job too, so probably was hurting it. So yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm pretty happy with the third P3 out of tonight.
Well, Matt, with a strong third place finish here this evening and another top 5 to add to the collection, who do you want to thank and shout out for this performance?
Yeah, thanks to you guys for calling the race. Randy, Josh, Brandon, and Paradigm guys for putting this league on. Shout out to Sean on his win, Adam's P2, and then always shout out to Pat who wasn't here tonight, which put in all these laps here to build our set this week.
Well, thanks for coming up here and talking to us, Matt. I'm going to hand it on over to Steve Tucker with our second place finisher on the evening. Oh, Adam Benefiel.
Bring him in. Man, awesome job today. P2 on the day. Looking pretty racy there about midway, trying to catch up to Conklin. Not sure if you were trying to, push ahead forward or trying to maybe just get that fresh air, but talk to us about your race, man. Looking pretty good today in P2.
Yeah. Finally got to freaking come up here and talk to y'all on this broadcast. I was talking to Sheldon last night and was joking around about how since I've started running the races that y'all cover, I haven't ever got to come up here and talk to you. So that's kind of cool that we finally got to do that. Sucks that we're second. I got kids, so after qualifying, they just walked through the front door and I was talking to them and I completely forgot to upload the race setup. So I realized that after the first, well, really once we hit about lap 20 of the first run. So we tried to throw the kitchen sink at it, and with the drop in track temp and it being a Q setup, I'm proud of what we did. But yeah, I don't know, we didn't have the long run. It wasn't built for that. So yeah.
Looking very good, man. Obviously a great performance. Hey, real quick, floor is yours. Give us a shout out for your sponsors, friends and family. What you got for us today?
Everybody at Team Conti, Sim Performance. Yeah, y'all for broadcasting. The OB Builders, they put on a great show. Great league, is fun. Just everybody that helps. So tonight, normally here lately it's been, Kevin King in there helping me with these races. So shout out to him, Brendan Hastings, Dustin Hall. Shout out to Sheldon for not picking me tonight.
Yeah. I told you I wouldn't.
I appreciate it. But no, everybody that puts this thing together. This is one of my favorite broadcasts because y'all just don't give a shit and y'all have fun. And y'all give a shit to a certain extent, but y'all say what's on your mind, and I like that. And yeah, just keep doing what you're doing.
You don't intend to change anything, but was that a qualifying setup that you said you were running tonight?
Yeah. So
Holy
we did
crap.
Q, and then my kids got home, and you know what I'm talking about with kids, man. They come in and shit gets crazy for a second, and I forgot all about it, and I just gridded. And the sad part, I sat there for 2.5 minutes on the grid. Never even realized that I didn't change the setup.
That's crazy. That P2 in a qualifying setup is that's a little extreme, man. Good stuff.
Yeah, appreciate it. All right, y'all have a good one.
Thank you, Adam. Thanks for popping up.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
And now we're about to move the man of the hour up here into the booth. After another old-fashioned butt whooping, I really need to find a new phrase for this because it feels like it's week in and week out. Sean Conklin. First off, man, dominant performance tonight, man. How many laps? I don't know how many laps you ended up leading, but it was just about all of them aside from pit cycle. Just talk me through it. How were you able to? 141 laps. Okay. Well, I just learned that we have new. There's words on the screen I should look at. But just talk me through it, man. How do you stay locked in so long in a track that's so difficult for a lot of people to make it 15 to 20 consecutive?
Yeah, it was a fun race tonight. Just kind of really doing what I did at Darlington, it's the same kind of theory here at this place, just you sit around and save tire and then just you're gone on the long run. So it's just use that same strategy from Darlington. It's pretty much same shape, just really flat and inverted. So I feel like some of the stuff carries over, and maybe just a tiny bit, but yeah, it was fun race. I'm glad that we got some long runs. We had some interrupted by cautions, but overall it was green, and we got a green flag pit cycle in, so can't be too upset with that. So, yep, just a great race overall.
Absolutely. Second of off, the kind of weird flat tracks out of the way here for a little bit. Moving our eyes on to next week at Bristol. Are you excited, or are you worried about chaos next week?
I feel like I've always been decent at Bristol. Hopefully, we're a little bit better now. I think I'm not sure. I got a bad memory for some reason, and I don't even remember how I did earlier in the year at Bristol. So I'll have to go back and look at the results. That'll refresh my memory. But yeah, Bristol's one of the tracks that I like. It's not one of my favorites. You don't say, "Hey, what's your favorite track?" Oh, it's Bristol. It's not really up there, but I do enjoy racing there, and it's gonna be 500 laps for the NISs, and not sure what it's gonna be for OB, but probably somewhere in the 300s, I'd say. So, yep, that's probably gonna be a long one, and just looking forward to carrying this momentum through those races and throughout the rest of the season.
To add another curveball to it, too, I am aware that it is going to be a refreshed version of Bristol, and to my knowledge, I think that they're making changes to the outside line, so definitely be prepared for that going into next week.
I mean, I'd love to see that, because I think it's kind of like bottom hogging the last time that we went there. So if we can get all 3 lanes working without killing the tires, that'd be nice.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I think it's going to be a little more bottom this go around, from what I've heard, at least. So don't shoot the messenger, though. But
yeah, we'll see.
But then things off here so we can cut you loose here for the evening, because I'm sure a big night of celebration is in store. Who all do you want to thank and shout out for this dominating performance tonight?
Oh, just everybody on the car, Randy Bell Construction, Victory One, Ryko, KB Engineering, Best One Tire, Gossett, Bus Lines, and yeah, just once again, everybody at Ryko putting in all the work this week. This was definitely a harder week than Darlington, considering all the bumps, the flat track, and there's 2 different corners, obviously, you drive completely different. So it's always hard to build a setup for that. So it took a lot of work. It was a lot of time put in, and once again, like every week, it paid off. And just really glad that we can show it, because last night in the NIS, I definitely couldn't show it. That was unfortunate on lap 10 or whatever it was. So glad to get redemption from that.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for stepping up and talking with us tonight. Congrats on the win, man, and looking forward to seeing what you can do next week at Bristol.
Thank you.
And now we've entered that point of the evening where it is time to wind down and wrap it up. But I'm sending over to you, Steve, real quick with any final thoughts or just how you felt about the race as a whole.
I'll tell you what, it's a lot of fun. I mean, it's a driver's track, right? I've always looked at this as a driver's track. It's a lot of fun to drive personally. And it's one of those things where it's hard to kind of challenge or to race. It's a challenge, right? We saw 27 drivers make it a pretty damn good race. A couple of cautions, obviously, that's going to happen. But overall, very, very fun, very entertaining. And man, just an absolute dominating performance here by Sean Conklin tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Just another great race here from the OB Builders Cup Series. I'm starting to get sad. I know that we're coming to the point where we're winding down for the season for these guys. And man, what an action-packed year it has been. It's been a blast being on here since we started off in May. And really excited to finish out these last few weeks. And, it's the green flag runs. It's what makes this series special. I don't think we've ever had the opportunity to cover a series, a league, anything that gets us good quality racing all the way throughout the field. I mean, the racing in 20th is just as good as what we see up at the front. But on that note, from the entire Grid Vision team, we'd like to thank you for watching and participating in the chat. For more information on getting your league broadcasted or starting your career in broadcasting, contact us on Facebook, X, or email us at info@gridvision.live. Special thanks to Andrew Cardinal IV of Whiplash Sim Cams for providing the cams used on today's broadcast. as well. More congratulations to Sean Conklin on winning tonight from Gateway. This has been Sean and Atkins. I've been Sean. I'm getting old, guys. Come on, give me a break. This has been Sheldon Atkins, and I'm joined in the booth by Steve Tucker and our wonderful fearless leader and producer, Austin Derbyshire. And we will see you next time on The Grid.